Is this thing working? Are we live? Looks like it's working. It looks like we are live. What is happening, everybody? I hope everybody's having a fantastic whatever day you're watching this. So, yeah, I guess the new Charger EV was, do you call this an official reveal? I'm not really sure what that was. If you haven't seen the reveal video, it's hard to watch. In fact, it's not that the car is hard to look at. Matter of fact, it actually, it might be growing on me a little bit from a styling perspective. But the story, the way it was presented, I don't remember the guy's name, but oh my gosh, it felt forced. It felt like he was just trying to get through this, man. Just get through, get to the punchline, get out of here, get off the stage, and get to the bar. That's kind of the impression that I had with this. And the worst part about it, this is the thing that kills it for me. The worst part about it was there's like an opening thing, and the car comes in and they rev it, I guess is the best way you can put it. It's not really a rev, but you kind of get the idea. It's got this sound effect that it's making. And it's not really an engine revving, but it's not really not an engine revving. And I guess that is somebody's idea of what I don't even know what it's supposed to be. What the heck is that? It's not going to get old really quick, right? If you're buying an EV, that motor revving sound, it's almost, that's what you're not wanting. So let me put it in another way. When an EV customer is, and in generalities I'm speaking here, but when an EV customer sees their vehicle, they don't see it as the next generation of performance from an internal combustion engine standpoint. They're looking at it a lot more like, this is different. It's supposed to be different. It doesn't make the noise. That's the whole point. The idea that you have to put fake noises, fake internal combustion engine noises into the car, it was just weird. And the sound wasn't right. And then again, trying to come up with it's the fret sonic. Some guys, this is a button on me that is absolutely getting stomped on. And it's an unintentional cringe on Dodge's part. Don't try to be cute. Well, the Dodge emblem is the frat song and it's the frat sonic and it just makes it. No, stop. This is one of those Jeff Goldblum things. Just because you can doesn't mean you should moments. Yeah, I get it. I get it from a marketing. It's the sound and we're rebranding. And guys, I'll put it to you like this. That brand was rebranded the performance image for FCA years and years and years ago. But the fact that they made the thing sound as bad as it does, it just on camera did not sound good. In other words, on video, I should say. And from my perspective, it sounded awful. But you can turn that feature off. So I'm not really so concerned with that as much as I am the fact that you would actually be wasting your time trying to could you imagine going to cars and seriously, you're going to go to a car meet and be playing that? It's a terrible look, and it's not funny, and it's not cute. It's not good. It's just terrible. And it's a gimmick that even really gimmicky things are not wanting to have. The Aztec wouldn't want to have anything to do with that kind of gimmick. Okay. So I guess getting back to it, the looks of the thing, I gotta say it doesn't necessarily look bad. For certain angles, at least, it's a relatively attractive car. There are some angles, though, that I've seen with this car going down the road, and it's that rear three-quarter view looking at the front of the car, or looking at the back of the car towards the front of the car. I don't know. I can't really get there from here with that. But more to the point, I think that it's pretty telling how it was received. Nobody in that little reveal video that I saw was jumping out of their skin. Oh my goodness, this is the next latest and greatest. It was a lot of ho-hum, and I don't know that it went over as well as maybe it should, mainly because, well, they did this at a Roadkill Nights event. If you're not familiar with Roadkill or Roadkill Nights, this is the epicenter of internal combustion and old school clapped out cars and hot rods, things like that. That is what Roadkill embodies. And so to juxtapose that mentality with this EV, it's just not I don't know that you could have released it anywhere else, though, or I should say reveal it anywhere else. But I also don't feel like it had, I don't know that it had the right, I don't think it was given a chance. What I would have preferred to see is somebody going, and maybe they will do this, I don't know, but what I would prefer to have seen in this release, or reveal, sorry, is do some stupid stuff in the car. Do roadkill stuff in the car. This has been another beef of mine with Dodge. If you're going to reveal something at Roadkill, you must do something very roadkill with that vehicle. In other words, do four-wheel drive burnouts or have the car do something cool. Don't wreck everybody's day by trying to give some kind of mission statement about this brand new whatever that you're bringing to market. That is not going to get the job done. You've got to do something interesting and far out there and get the freaking passion back into this thing. A lot of people are looking at that car the way that they look at their microwave every morning. If it heats up their coffee or their biscuit, that's all they care about. And that's the thing. This is just another EV with a really weird sound system. I don't get me wrong, I love the way a car sounds, but that is an EV, and the only sound they make should be the whirring of the gears and the motors themselves. And I've been saying this for a long time too. If you want to mic up the electric motor, maybe run it through a buzz box as some kind of a synthesizer that accentuates and amplifies the electric motor of the thing. That would be cool as hell. Like it sounds like the Wraith, right? It does something amazing. It does something cool. It doesn't have to sound like V8. It doesn't have a V8 in it. It doesn't make it neat, and it's not interesting. And I guess that's the end of the day for me. Part of me wanted to just see them do something neat with that car, do something cool, make it do something wow me, please. And I haven't seen that yet. I mean, they may have done it already. Maybe it's their video out there that I missed where the thing's doing a four-wheel drive burnout and it's doing all kinds of crazy stuff and driving on two wheels. Hell, anything to bring some kind of excitement to the brand at this point, because as far as I can tell, the game's already been changed. We're already looking at another year before we see anything on the internal combustion engine side, if even that soon. And is it even going to be enough? Or is it going to be too expensive? What are these things going to cost? We already know that the EVs are ridiculously expensive as it sits. I mean, these cars used to be for the common person that wanted a muscle car. They wanted something cool. They wanted something that performed a certain way. Maybe some people wanted it to sound a certain way. I get it. But the pricing has just put these EVs way outside of that envelope. And so, again, we need to take a look at what could be coming. One of the six-pack cars, maybe. Would it be possible to have some kind of a cool cutout on one of those cars' exhaust, some kind of active exhaust system, one of those types of things? We can only hope. I mean, now that Dodge is in the audio business instead of the auto business as well, they've added this to their repertoire. Why not make the 6-cylinder sound cool then? If you're going to do it for the EV, give us some kind of an active exhaust for that 6-cylinder so we get some pops, some bangs, or some kind of whatevers to make that thing exciting, unique, something that is going to draw attention, maybe from a younger crowd, something that will make that car the bearer of the torch, if you will, for the American muscle car fans. You still do it with a 6-cylinder, I suppose, provided that the 6-cylinder is up to the challenge and up to the task. I've given that Hurricane 6 a chance. You do have to run it on premium. I have not driven one, and I'm talking about standard output here too, guys. You have to run that engine on premium or it is a turd, period, full stop. I can tell you this from my own personal experience. I gave it a go. I gave it a shot. The dealership put 87 octane in the tank, and it was a dog. Bad deal. Not good. From what I hear, though, with 89 at least, but with the recommended 91 or better octane, the thing's pretty quick, and it does its job really well. Fantastic. With all that being said, though, the car is going to have to be really good. And considering the fact that it's going to be an also ran with the EVs, how many are the dealerships prepared to have these things on their lot? Can they even charge them? What's the deal there? And especially when you consider the fact of how many of the dealerships are kind of getting smoked right now by FCA. They're dumping cars on them. Prices are starting to plummet. So there are a lot of folks out there that spend a lot of money on Dodge, maybe a Ram product, but for sure Dodge is what we're talking about right now, really. And man, they got smoked. And they don't feel too good about watching the prices of cars just like the one that they bought start hemorrhaging in value on the lot. Not a good deal. So anyway, we're coming up on the back half of 2024, and I can only say that, well, it's not going to be too long before the 2025 models hit the bricks. And well, it looks right now, the EVs, they might be here, but I don't know for how long. The EVs might be around for a minute, but then they may fall out of favor. And if certain things happen here this fall and winter, there might be other winds that may drive the EV to the back burner if it means that other propulsion devices, other power plants can be put in these cars. So I'm afraid this thing may end up being a very expensive fad, at least for now. And I don't know who the target, I cannot be convinced as to who the target audience of this car is. Given the cost, given how much this thing is going to, how much it's going to ask of you just to get in the door. Like just for an entry-level vehicle, these things are rumored to be mid-50s, low 60s. And that's just the entry-level RT or so-called RT variants. So anyway, we'll see what happens. I don't know, but so far it doesn't look like, at least from what I saw, you guys correct me if I'm wrong, it looks like it was not very well received. I don't want to use the word hopeful. I'm optimistic that there will be some type of I don't know, something coming from Dodge that will make this car a bit more exciting for folks to check out, but I'm having a hard time seeing it at this point. It should have already happened. Anyway, let me check in with you guys. Rome is in. Sovereign got the Kate Oh, I got the bald guy with the shades, got the flex on. I like it. Burdened is in. Sovereign. Dustbuster acoustics. Dude, it's bad, man. It's weird sound. It's just, it doesn't sound right. Sovereign say, just get the 6-pack. We'll see. Maybe. Rock is in. Good evening. Unburden's asking, how does it drive? Is it going to be worth 70 ground? Doubtful, but a man can hope. Yeah, that's the thing. So E's, their whole claim to fame is instant torque, instant partial throttle torque. Yes, it is not going to suck when it comes to that. Will it be quick enough? I don't know. That's another thing. When you start comparing like for like, where do you start immediately looking? It's Tesla. I mean, it's the one that, and then everybody else is like this way back distant second. The first thing you start thinking about is Tesla. And man, like, I'm not an EV guy. I'm not big into the whole electric vehicle scene, but I can tell you that they're quick. I mean, they're no doubt very, very quick and very, very consistent, provided they've got, up to, or at least down to, say, 85% charge. They're always going to be fast in that range. So again, you can't compare it to an internal combustion engine. You have to compare it to its peers. How's it going to do, man? Listen, they're not showing us. That's the beef that I have too, is that we're not getting what we want. And again, this is supposed to be a performance vehicle. This is supposed to be a vehicle that is going to get us into the EV world, into the EV, what the hell am I trying to say here? Era. There you go. So the EV era is supposed to start with this machine. It's not happening for a lot of folks. So anyway, let me get back into you guys. Noab is in. What's up, man? Let me know if you get a chance to load that tune. Sovereign is in. Eric, good seeing you, buddy. I'm asking thoughts on the Mach 4 Mustang. Don't really have any just yet. Haven't dug into that. Eric is in. Sovereign's asking, what happened to my comment? I don't know. What comment are you asking about? Let's see. Sam, they should have jumped it. Yeah, they should have done anything. Other than what they did, Arthur is in. Got the flex. I like it. I'm saying I saw a video with them doing burnouts in it. Might have to search for it, but it was an official Dodge video. It didn't sound right, though. I know they had one early on, early on, but I don't know. I don't know what ended up really happening with that. Let's see. Sam, I'd bite if it survived a Dukes of Hazzard style jump. Yeah. I don't think that it would. I have a feeling that thing you'd pop a battery and that would probably be all she wrote. It'd be a fireworks show going off after that. Let's see. They're saying, asking Sovereign, did you hear that Ford is working on a rear-wheel drive muscle car with a V8 engine and a 6-speed manual? That would be cool. If they could do a Return of the Galaxy, that would be flipping awesome. Sovereign would end up damaging the battery pack. Yeah, it would go into rapid thermal decomposition. Yes, for sure. Oh, yeah, I didn't see anything on that, the Mustang. I haven't paid any attention to it, to be honest with you. Skids is in. What is up, man? He's checking in with Eric. I like to see that. Well, Eric's talking about talking about his buddy that's a Dodge tech seeing fragged water pumps on the 6 cylinders. Really? A water pump, man, I hate to hear that too. They can survive a saltwater flood, then they've one up Tesla. Yeah, always a good idea to put a battery in an electrolyte rich environment. Stuart, they were showing the EV was the one that I saw. Sam, the target audience, the government, not the people. Isn't that the truth? And that's the sad thing. It could be good. Again, I am not anti-EV. Free market, baby. If the EV works for you, roll with it, man. I mean, that's why you have choices. All right. That's why the open market, yes, you can do other things. You don't have to go with the flow. Do whatever you want. I'm not anti-EV. What I am is I'm anti-cringe. And that's kind of the issue that I have. Again, this would have been a perfect opportunity to showcase the six-pack cars, the six-cylinder variants, the internal combustion variants of that vehicle. What a great opportunity that was lost. Roadkill, who will put boost and engines and resurrect vehicles. That's what they do. Looky here, we've brought you inline six again. Wow, Tower of Power. Look at that. Make all the jokes you like. That's there. I swear, this is marketing that literally writes itself. How this is. Like, seriously. Hi. Dodge. It's B Mason. Check me out, bmasonTV@gmail. If you need to get a hold of me for business purposes, get your boy on board. You look like you could use a little bit of help on the marketing side, especially when it comes to brand image. Boy. So here's the thing, guys. Look, love the brand. I get what they're trying to do. I get it. I get it. Even though it literally stomps on every button that I have, from being a car guy, from being into the history of the brand, all of that, it's cartoonish. I don't know who this thing is appealing to. And the price point, I don't know who's going to buy the thing, or at least the folks that they are trying to appeal to aren't going to buy it because they can't afford the thing. It doesn't matter who you try to get to endorse it. We just ain't gonna get here anyway. Get back to you guys. Let's see, Skids. Does Dodge Stellantis want folks to sell their current daily for these? That's a good point. Get beat up on by Tesla. Kind of ridiculous. I'm curious as to how much the i6 twin turbo will weigh in at. That's the big question. A lot of folks are talking about $65,000, $70,000. Do you buy the RT-EV or do you buy the ICE variant? If they're the same price, listen, if they're the same price, they shouldn't be. They can't be, right? Like, no. But if they were the same price, you buy the internal combustion engine for the general convenience of the thing. It doesn't matter how quick EV is at that point. By comparison, it is as inconvenient as the day is long for what a lot of guys are going to want to do with that car, provided, remember, that you can afford it. Oh yeah, and that you have a house and that you can charge it in your house. But remember, you got to get this charger wired into your home. If you can do all of that, if you've got access to all of those assets, okay, then the EV is not a bad look. I mean, you get to be your own personal fuel refinery at the house, although it is not cheap. Now, remember, that electricity that you're pumping into that car does not come for free, and don't pretend like you're saying Mother Earth, because you are still cooking something to get it. But if an EV it must be, then for some it works out pretty well. But for most it doesn't. And it bums me out to think that there is there's somebody out there that's going to really want to champion these cars. And I would love to be one of those guys. Think of what you can do with an EV. Let me just play devil's advocate, boys, because I know. Let me just play devil's advocate. There's a lot you can do with an EV that you can't do with an internal combustion engine. Okay, so think of all the draggy hits you could make with your EV. You never have to worry about throwing a rod or breaking a transmission, although you might have to worry about ripping a motor out of its mounts. And well, the draggy thing, well, I mean, I guess you could do it on the street provided that it's all-wheel drive, but you got one of those coming in the guise of the new high output inline six. But that doesn't really matter because the stuff you'd be doing would be kind of illegal anyway. But does it matter? Let me ask you a question on the topic of that. Does it feel a little bit less illegal to do draggy hits in an EV than it does in an internal combustion car? You see it a little bit differently. I don't know what it is. And I also don't know, it maybe on an all-wheel drive vehicle, it almost feels like you're doing the right thing by going out and nailing 0 to 60s and 0 to specific distance. You get the idea. I don't know. For some reason, it's maybe you're not making any noise and you're not being all like ruckusy. Maybe that is why, for some reason, it just seems like you shouldn't get a ticket. Like they should be able to watch these videos. Oh yeah, well the EV, look at that thing go down the straightaway here. It's really quick. But if you were to do that in like a scat pack or something like that with an exhaust on a drag pack, like, oh shame, I can't believe you're killing the environment by what you're doing. It's like, Jesus Christ. I don't know. I just, for some reason, how did I even get to this? Let me get back to you guys. All right. David is in. Sam, I didn't compare anything to Tesla. I personally compare EVs to the Nissan Leaf. Stuart, thank you very much. Are the RIP coil packs worth on a 6.4? No, do not spend your money on those. I'll put it to you like this. The coil packs that are on your 6.4 are the same coil packs that we would use for E85 stroker pro charged combinations that were making like 800 or 900 horsepower to the rear wheels. Stock. Let it, baby. Same basic coil pack that's on the Hellcat too, by the way. Kurtzen, what's up, man? Been a while. Good chat. Love my RT. F the new one. I get it. Oh, say it's Hard Rock. Yeah, talking to Hard Rock. That interview with the new CEO is a joke. Nobody knew that they wanted a supercharged Cali Charger until we made one. Oh my God, dude. That guy, listen, talk about writing your own history. You know what I mean? Hard Rock said I was trolled for days on a recent Racer X video. He was talking smack about Emmys and giving his BMW S58 superiority. I mean, wake me up when that argument becomes relevant as the BMW S58. Oh, okay. Who cares? Nobody buys BMW S58, by the way. They're all rented and leased. And yeah, that's basically how that works. Because if you buy one, you are rich beyond all recognition because get ready for depreciation. That in Mercedes-Benz, by the way. Stuart's asking, is a BMW twin-powered 6 necessarily better than a Supra? There are some things about it that are better. BMW makes a hell of a car, by the way. I just shit on them a little bit because the depreciation is so bad. And they're amazing cars to drive. They're better than Mercedes-Benz in terms of long-term reliability for the most part when you're talking about the performance variants. But, you know, that I would say, is it better? No. because the Super's powered by a B58. So that's why I say it's not necessarily better. It's the same thing. Skids, I did a burnout in my Ram 1500. Ah, crap. We got an ad just popped up. Hold, please. I guess some of you guys might be getting ads and some might not be. That's YouTube for you, folks. Eric is hanging out with Stuart. Yeah, Skids, that's the thing. I'm anti-mandates too, man. I don't want anybody telling me what I can and can't buy, what I can and can't do. If it's an engine, it's a motor, it's a thing, it's a this, or it's a, that's all that matters to me. My head isn't in it from the point of view of the power plant itself. It's weird that some of you have to make EVs. Well, who's going to buy the thing? Like, that's the other thing. If you're mandating that manufacturers have to make something, remember that these manufacturers have got to make money. You know what I'm saying? If nobody is buying them, or if they're not buying them at the rate, I should say, that is going to be able to sustain that company's business plan, it's not a good mandate, really bad. So anyway, it's the world plus EV. You cannot realistically legislate out internal combustion engines. It just doesn't work like that. Crypto Cat is in. Stuart's checking in with Eric. I like that. Skids, dude, I'm looking at getting a bagger, actually considering Indian. Yes. Indian, yes. Harley, no. Go figure. The Indian Challenger Dark Horse looks amazing. Yeah, it does. There's a lot about Indian that's looking really good right about now. It makes me kind of glad that I'm a Triumph guy. Oh, speaking of bikes, yes. So the Katana's got a set of S22s on it now. I will be breaking those in properly tomorrow. When they first fitted, that bike was all over the place. Playing around with that bike with no traction control, just, straight up, no ABS, no traction control, nothing. A fun bike, but it desperately needs to be de-restricted. I will say that about that bike. I say it desperately. It doesn't need to be de-restricted. It's actually a fun bike to ride the way it sits. But baggers are fun, man. Eric's saying, checking in with Skids, Sovereign Knight friends. Ford said they want that rear drive V8 sedan and option all-wheel drive V8 sedan market again. That would be cool if they did. I would like to see something cool like that come from them. I need to check it out. Yeah, if they come back with Galaxy nameplate, that would be sick to death. Martin, thank you so very much. Appreciate that. Saying, hey, Professor, I'm looking to get started porting my intake manifold, and I was wondering if you had particular bit Dremel combination you like for getting into the runners. Well, Martin, I'm glad you asked. Hold, please. Tools that you will need, my friend. So let's break into this. Let's get into that. Dremel stuff. Get you some part numbers. With these, you're going to need a template, and you are going to need, well, let's just start off with the basics. So, Dremel, regular, little half-inch. This is a 60 grit, if you can see that. I'll use these for an initial rough cut. I usually do a 2 or 3 stage. For some of them, I'll even get really freaky. That's a 240 on that setup for the big ones. The little ones, I'll only use 80 grit for the 1/4 inch. And if I've got it, that whole rest of that kit. Make sure that you have masks, you want to get a breather. You don't want to be breathing that stuff in. So some type of face filter. Other things that you will want to get, calipers, real important. Obviously for measuring, but for the throat of the manifold, this is a 60 grit. 60 grit's a little bit aggressive. You're going to want to learn a little bit of technique, but this is that 60 grit. Hopefully that part number shows up for the flap wheel. Again, you don't want to get too aggressive with that. And I use just a drill for that. You're going to use that for your initial rough cut on the throat of that manifold. So basically you're going to get 60 and 80 grit primarily for your half-inch cartridges. 80, just go with 80 for your quarter inch, and make sure that when you're porting the manifold, you're going to Mickey Mouse. So you always do your corner first, nice and light, no pressure. Do not put any pressure at all. Let the bit do the work and do it. When you first get started, you'll get a lot of bit wander, and just once you get the technique, once you fine tune your technique with it, it's actually pretty, like it's relaxing for me to do them. Again, well ventilated area. Make sure you got your breathers and everything else. Dawn liquid soap. You're going to want to clean that manifold, get it nice and clean. Don't port or don't try to work on a manifold that's dirty. If you got to take the thing to a car wash, just put it on rinse. Don't blast up in there or anything. Just get any funk off of the thing as best you can. The calipers, what you're going to use that for is you're going to have your template, whatever throttle body. You can see where this one's been marked up and all that stuff on the inside of there. I would actually mount the throttle body because every manifold is a little bit different. Make sure that whatever throttle body you're mounting, that you have some throttle body bolts, and very lightly just kind of run that thing in there, and then you mark it. You want to mark that thing. So again, Sharpies. I like using a red Sharpie. I used to like, anyway, Sharpie. That's another tool you're going to need. Get in there and mark it. And what you want to do, you could use whiteout or some other kind of paste. Don't do that. It'll end up, that ain't going to work good. See, so and from there again, if when you're getting into your flapper, this thing will generate a lot of heat. It's not heat in the way though that you might feel like, oh, owie, it's hot. It's not like that. It'll generate heat very locally on that polymer. You won't necessarily feel it, but you're actually melting instead of cutting the polymer. So again, very light. Don't get in there and resist the urge to get in there and go crazy with it. Just very light touch and let the tool do work, and measure often. A manifold usually takes me around 6 hours to complete, from soup to nuts, depending on how bad that manifold is. So there's other guys that have different techniques, but the main thing is measure often, and don't try to go too crazy. The other thing is you want to, and you'll hear me say this a lot, you're not porting the manifold, you're blueprinting the manifold. You're getting rough edges out of there, any casting flash, any rough transitions. Well, you'll find a lot of those in Dodge manifolds, but you want to smooth those out. You're not really trying to remove a lot of material. You're just trying to ease the transition as the air is flowing through the runners. 6.4s are the worst. The 5.7 truck intakes are usually okay, but again, you just go in there smooth, you Mickey Mouse your corners, which is to say just kind of barely run your quarter inch up through and up into the manifold. And then from there, you just kind of take your time, smooth the manifold out, concentrating on the long side radius first. Don't really hammer on the short side unless you, which is the inside radius. Don't hammer on the short side too much unless you see something really out of whack. And remember, guys, my best ever performing intake was the absolute worst one that I ever saw. It was really bad. A lot of core shift, but it ended up performing extremely well. So, and what are these? snap gauges. So what you'll be using these for is when you're measuring the throat that you're going to be, actually, this is not the right one. The E tool. When you're measuring the throat and you get the thing centered, what you're going to do is as you're running your big flapper, this type of a gauge, there you go. See it pop out like that? What you do is you set the tool, tighten it, and then it holds that measurement. And so what you can do with that is you can make sure, okay, we're a little bit tight here, we're a little bit loose there, take off any more material there, and you can just kind of, you'll get an idea for how to contour manifold in time. Don't get too crazy with it, I guess is the point that I'm trying to make when you're trying to open one of those things up. And that's it. Just a lot of patience and practice. But it's easy. I mean, it's super, like I say, super relaxing for me whenever I start working on them, or whenever I would start porting those things. Most of mine have done really well. So hopefully that helps you, Martin. But yes, Martin saying it's a junkyard manifold. Cleaning is definitely the first step. Yes, sir. And Stuart said I use the smaller flaps for pouring out the runners and larger flat drill attachment for the intake port. And then purple power and brush for cleaning everything out. Yes. Oh, that's one other thing. Thank you for reminding me. Lots of compressed air if you can, and a leaf blower helps wonders. And you stick it on the intake side, fire it up, and again, it'll just whoosh all that dust out of there. Do not do that in an enclosed area. Take that thing outside, go across the street, go to Walmart parking lot, whatever you got to do. But do it outside when you're working on these things, because you just don't want to be breathing in all the funk that's going to be coming with that. But that's it. Don't use, I will, there's going to be some residual oil in that manifold. Do not use any kind of lubricants or anything like that. That's the last thing that you want to do. Again, you're just going to be using a very light touch with very common products. You can get these things anywhere. But, you know, check them. Again, it's more about making sure that you are not melting the plastic and that you're not pushing through and going too far. You're not really removing a lot of material. You're only removing any imperfections and smoothing out all the transitions. Going bigger, trust me when I say this, much bigger. In other words, don't get in there and try to hog everything out. It's not going to make it flow more. The simple fact that you're cleaning up transitions and doing other things like that, that's what's going to get you the most performance gain. That's just what I've found anyway with mine. But thank you, Martin. I do appreciate the support, buddy. Very, very much appreciate it. Hopefully that helps you out. Let's see. Skids, yeah, I got an ad. Don't speak out against the mandates. Stuart's asking, do you like the JLT better than the Hellcat intake? No, I prefer the Hellcat intake with the snorkel over the JLT. Sam, the Leaf is a benchmark for EV, in my opinion. The cost of it, sub 30 grand. Yes, all EVs should be 30 to 60 grand. I agree. We're getting ripped off by the EVs and the companies in general. Very much so. See, the thing with EVs that bothers me the most, you see this little RC truck back there? A little bit of a history with EVs, and at least in that respect. And I guess the point that I'm getting here is that there is no huge jump in technology other than batteries that you're going to run across. It is motor, speed controller, interface, and a battery. That's it. That's really what there is. And there's nothing else to really do other than package it in a pretty way and in a way that is safe and yada, all that stuff. The fact that they're as expensive as they are is really not a good look, frankly. One of the big digs on EVs, no pun intended, I guess, is battery technology, where the elements come from out of the ground geographically. But more to the point, there's such a push for range and range anxiety, power density. EVs like the Leaf would be perfectly fine with an old NiCad style battery pack, provided that it just had enough mass, in other words, energy carrying capacity, to get you to and from work every day. That's all that's needed out of those types of EVs, and they perform brilliantly. I mean, these are cars that have been around for well over 100 years, electrical vehicles. This is nothing new. So the technology shouldn't cost anywhere near what it does. I need an automobile. I need a conveyance appliance, not whatever else comes with it. Fine, that's amazing, beautiful, love it, like a hot rod. Everybody does, right? But I don't understand why the cost. It just blows my mind. Jeremy's saying, I recently had Challenger Scat Pack switched over to a dedicated E85 tune. I have installing issues anytime I pull up to a stop sign or at a light. Any thoughts? Yes. You are running too rich with that combination. I would be willing to bet. And that is something that your tuner is going to have to get sorted out. I'm guessing you went with a stock pump, bigger injectors, if that's the case. And it's just mainly getting your injector data accurate. So he's going to need to sort out your injector data and get your car sorted out. It's not that hard to do. So it might just be some kind of an issue there. I don't know. But that would be your tuner's responsibility to get that squared away. Kurt's saying a baby used Hellcat, maybe babied used Hellcat, maybe in my future if the price is right. 25 grand is a magic number. Me too. And then again, thank you, Martin. I appreciate it very much. Oh, Stuart, yep, using the smaller, yep. Sam saying, I used to hone cylinders of WD-40 in a hone. Yep. Is there any liquid you could keep cool and clean? Unfortunately, no. It makes a massive mess. I had initially tried it, not believe it or not, I tried water because I didn't want to mix oil and have any of that. Plastic is a hydrocarbon. So the idea was to try to use water to try to keep it cool. And all it did was make a complete disaster flick. It made a huge mess, and that immediately got axed. X is in. I'm late to the chat. Dealers may as well start ending their franchise agreements now. All this Stellantis stuff isn't selling. E-Charger will not sell. A lot of folks share your thoughts on that. Arthur Wall, interesting. X is saying 60 grand for an RT EV and fake hemming noise. Nah, if I wanted that, I'd buy a video game. That's about what you're buying with that thing. Eric saying, hit that like button. Yes, hit that like button. Your first time around the live channel, we do this, try to do it twice a week. Tuesdays and Saturdays are typically the target times or dates, or days, I should say. And the time, usually between 8 and 9 is when I go on. I've been trying to go on a little bit earlier. Thank you, Eric. Yes. Thank you. Yes, hit the like and subscribe. And usually the show, by the way, will go on for around an hour. The older shows used to be about 2 hours long, but about an hour is about right, I think. And every once in a while, though, a show will grow legs, and it ends up being an old school 2-hour show again. And really, it's just meant to be a background noise generator for guys that just need something to listen to for a little bit while they're doing something a bit more monotonous. So that's why none of my videos have a lot of editing. None of them have a lot of any of that. Again, they're just really more talking point type things. Some of the stuff I'll do, like how-to videos, pause editing and things like that, but that's about the most you're going to get out of me on that. Eric's hanging out with Arthur. Who? So yeah, guys, I figured I would touch on this subject. I knew that this was going to be a thing. I knew that guys were going to want to talk about this a little bit. If for no other reason to voice their cringe at whatever that reveal was. I'm still trying to kind of wrap my noggin around what was going on with that. I gotta tell you though, guys, I'm not totally bummed out with the way that the car looks. I still think it's not a completely finished design exercise, but it doesn't look bad. I mean, again, we're seeing pre-production or oh crap, what's the name of him? Anyway, we're seeing pre-production cars, validation type vehicles, if you will. That's fine. The finished product is not, I don't think, been set in stone. Although I think what we're seeing now is basically the validation cars that you're going to be looking at now at this stage. I want to be clear though when I say that whether you love them or hate them, EVs kind of are here to stay. They can be done right. They can be done well. I just don't think this is it. I don't think this is the right way. I don't think this is the well way to do them. And if you are in the market though for one of these, I don't want to disparage anyone. And I want to make this perfectly clear, because I can be critical and I can poke fun a little bit, but it's not coming from a bad place. If this vehicle is something that you are getting all lathered up about, and let's say you're watching this video or listening to this video and you're going, oh, this guy didn't know what he's talking about. This guy's completely off his rocker. What is he? Oh, this guy is just lost in the past. Look, I get it. EVs are great things, but to call them new and to call them innovative is just being intellectually dishonest. EVs have been around for well over 100 years. So they're only new to us in the performance level that we are seeing now. And that we have been seeing for quite a bit of time, but really for recent memories purposes. So I get if somebody sees the performance envelope that these cars are capable of and go, man, I would love to have that. I've got the resources to be able to charge the thing at the house. I'm not really worried about range anxiety. This is something that is going to work brilliantly for me. Then buy one and campaign the heck out of it. Do the draggy videos. Post up your successes with that car, because somebody's got to have fun with these. Somebody has got to do well with them. Somebody has got to be able to take one of these things and make it famous, make it cool, make it do something neat, right? Because what ends up bothering me the most is when products like this end up getting bullied out of a market because of pre-existing notions on an EV. I'm guilty of it myself. I mean, I'm only speaking from my own personal experience. I'm not an EV guy. I get it. I would love to make like a capacitor style power booster for something like that. I think it'd be sick to death. There's a lot of things about EVs that I can really get on board with. It's just that the cost of the thing for what it is far and away too much. And regardless of the performance envelope, I don't like having batteries that can turn into fireworks shows seemingly for no real good reason. I don't really like that. That kind of spooks me. It freaks me out. You know, that's the thing. So if you're into these kind of things, so, and you're cool with that, and you don't see the batteries being a risk, which is statistically not that big of a deal, but you know, the house that's on fire is the one that's on the news, not the one that's not, right? So anyway, get out there, campaign the hell out of the thing, and I'll cheer you on. All right. But I'll be in the stands this time. I won't be the one that's actually putting on the show unless one of y'all wants me to drive for you. But the reality is I think this is being done because it's a have to, not a want to. everything that I have seen coming from Dodge has been, I don't, it's like it's forced in a way. It feels like it is like it's, I don't know if coerced is the right way to put it, but anyway, it doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel natural. Doesn't feel, just doesn't feel like Dodge. And I guess for me, that is the core problem that I have with this car. Nobody is coming into this reveal worked up, pumped up, doing donuts, doing crazy stuff, drag racing this thing. Bring us your scatties. Let's get out there and do something dumb. Do something awesome. You just don't see that. Hey, DM, thank you very much, man. Saying I'd get an EV if it came with flux capacitor. And listen, if you've got one of these things and you don't figure out a way to like put it into the car, just, something, if you're going to have a fake sound maker, you got to at least have a fake flux capacitor, right? But thank you, DM. I appreciate that. Yeah, I'm kind of with you too. Yeah, I mean, look, it's got to have something special. It's got to be cool, but it's got to be brand awesome, right? This is Dodge freaking A, man. Come on. This is Dodge we're talking about. This isn't brand whatever that has to be stodgy and must maintain it. No, dude, this is supposed to be rowdy. This is supposed to be, look, man, I mean, sometimes you forget to zip up your pants. That's Dodge, all right? And I don't mind that aspect being marketed. I don't want to hear about this being the next iteration. No. Saying, yeah, we got to make an EV. Look what this EV can do. Make it do like an immediate whip, that total 180 thing, right? That Mercedes likes to try to do with their EV G-Wagons. Make it do something cool like that. I don't know. I don't have all the ideas. I'm just saying, look, there are things you can do with an EV that you can't do with an internal combustion engine. Market the piss out of that aspect of it and make it rowdy. And if there is a hope for this thing to ever catch on, that's what Dodge is going to have to do. They're going to have to double and triple down on their brand image. I want to see titties. I want to see America flags. I want to see tire smoke. I got to hear me some rock and roll music. I want to see some shit, man. Like, I need to see what's up. I need some Dodge in this Dodge. And that's the only way you're going to get me back, boys. And that's with internal combustion or the other stuff. If you're going to be Dodge, you got a reputation to uphold. And if you're not going to do it because of the message, okay, then don't even bring this to our front doorstep. We will kick you down the wall just like Leonidas. And that is exactly what's been happening lately, by the way. So if you don't want past performance to be indicative of future results, make it right. Do the right thing. Build a badass. Just saying. Anyway, let me check back in with you guys. Thank you again, DM. I do appreciate it, bud. Hoorah. Where did I miss you guys? Eric saying, hit the like button. Thank you, Eric. I appreciate you. Sam saying, I'm a big diesel guy, but I'm a fan of what Edison Motors is doing with their packaging. Oh, yeah, Edison. So if you don't know what Sam's talking about, like, what is this Edison Motors? What they're doing is they're doing a hybrid, but it's a hybrid in the same way that a locomotive. This is what I've been saying about forever. Y'all been hearing me. Some of you older school guys got bored with hearing me talk about this when EVs were first starting to hit. My idea of a hybrid was batteries, yay. Electric motors, put them on all wheels, fantastic. But give me a range extender. Give me a generator that is, you could do a turbine, which runs on anything flammable. So yeah, a small rotary, you can do anything. Just give me put a freaking Briggs and Stratton motor back there, but give me a range extender. Well, Edison Motors does that with big rigs. And you can run them on And Sam, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Edison has got it set up now where you can run it. Maybe I'm wrong about this. No, well, I think the blue truck was you could run it on diesel, but you could like exclusively. No, they didn't have a transmission, did it? I don't know. I don't want to get to lying. So anyway, but it's a cool truck, and these are big diesel rigs, and it's really the best way, in my opinion, to have an EV. I think it's a brilliant way to do it, and it works for everybody. I don't know why they don't do that, but anyway, and that would be a killer way. But yeah, you can, with the diesel running, you get a ton of power. You're feeding those electric motors with a whole lot of electricity, but there's no actual connection from the engine to the rear end. That engine is really just there to act as a generator, and that's how trains work. And they work really well. That's how ships and all. If it is extremely high efficiency and it's running on electricity, that's how those things work. So yeah, when you see a train, that the engine that's spooling up, that is only running generators. Everything on that train is run by electricity, electric motors. Jeremy's saying, thanks, brother. Hopefully it helped, man. I do appreciate the question. Martin saying the EV marketing is certainly a far cry from the classic George Washington. Yes. Agreed. All right, Sam. I'm right there with you. I'm not buying anything else until my truck's paid off. And even then, it's like, Smoking Hot and I, we ran into the city today and took the Ford. It was pretty fun. I like driving that truck. This kid saying, this ain't Daddy's Dodge. Come on, Stellantis could really care less. I think Drago and Rocky IV, if he dies, he dies. Unfortunately, yeah. Hoorah. They're saying, friend, I think another big problem with these new Dodge Charger EV cars is they are calling them muscle cars, which they are not, and the Mopar community is upset about that. Well, you know what I said about e-muscle, so yeah. Hard rock, if it's not a V8, yeah, it ain't a muscle car. Exactly. Oh, Sovereign is back. So, yeah, guys, I got to tell you, it's been weird seeing this emerge. I don't know what the right wording is here, but it's been weird to watch it. Let's just put it that way. What are we going to see in the future? More of this? Less of this? Got to vote. Got to vote. Got to vote. Got to vote. Get out there, and you always hear me talk about get out there and vote. No, that means you too. Not just you. Not you. You got to get out there and vote. Register to vote. Vote early. Vote often. Vote at every opportunity that you have to exercise your right to vote. It's the most important thing that you can do. To be a part of the system, yes, your vote matters. People say, my vote won't matter. It doesn't really matter. No, you have no idea how important your vote is, because you may be voting for some mass of people that think that their vote doesn't matter. Be their voice instead. Do it for them. I can't tell you how important that it is to get out there and vote. Skids horde devolve. Yeah. Sorry, you can't stump Trump. Let's go. Get out there and vote, guys. And I mean, I don't care if librarian, dog catcher, trash guys. It doesn't matter who. You have to vote. It's mandatory. I used to be in the camp like, my vote doesn't really count. These people are bought and paid for anyway. What's the difference? Look, that is the problem. You can't think that your vote doesn't matter. It absolutely does. And again, every level matters too. The local stuff is every bit as important, if not more so in some cases, than the bigger elections. The local stuff, you got to be involved with that. Well, and that's another thing, you get out in front of it. You gotta put weight on the other side of the scale, guys. So I see what you're saying, Sovereign. I get it. Yeah. I mean, all of us, man, we're all feeling the pinch. All of us are. It doesn't matter what your walk of life is. You're walking in a different level than you were 4 years ago. But anyway, getting back to it, X saying if the Mustang and Corvette became EVs, then I'd feel way different about it. Yeah, I mean, I can see that too. I can promise you, maybe it would be different. Maybe it would be cool. Maybe. Sorry, my wife just sent me some funny shit. Oh my God, dude. I don't know if y'all have seen this shit pop up. Anyway, it's the John Mellencamp. Do not serve this man a chili dog. Shit cracks me up. Anyway, the beauty of it is that Corvette and Mustang don't have to go that route. And look, again, I am cool with EVs if EVs mean that we can keep getting V8s and hot rods and turbo 6-cylinders and turbo 4-cylinders or whatever you like. I love it. That's why menus have a bunch of different stuff on them. But we'll see. I don't know. Skid saying, yep, X, it's because Dodge was sold at the absolute worst time. Horrible timing. Yeah. That does suck. And it does. I mean, they just ran that brand into the ground. So Martin, yeah, I feel like there should be something that makes it cool, right? I agree with you 100%. I mean, make it neat, make it marketable. Give me some gadgets or gizmos to make it unique and fun. Roxanne, I wonder, is there a future for Foxy on the channel? So for you guys that may not know, Foxy is my 89 Mustang. Then I am really debating on taking that thing to a body shop and getting the cowl fixed. It needs some front end work. The car is set up for autocross, and it is way too twisty on the highway. I need to chill some of that out. So there could be some possible future for Foxy on the channel. The only downside to Foxy is that engine's got to come out and needs a complete reseal. Ugh. Oh God, dude, listen, that is a fate worse than I really. It's not like it's a big deal, and it's not like it's hard to do, but it sucks when you're doing it solo. And it's just not a fun thing in general, but the engine needs to come out. It needs a reseal. And if the engine would be coming out, I would probably go ahead, bump the compression up, different set of heads, certainly a different intake manifold, but I don't know. We'll see. The problem with Foxy is that what I need to do with that car, and it runs and drives great. The AC blows cold. I love driving it, but it needs a total refresh, and that ain't cheap on a car like that. And again, it turns into a time thing. Why just simply have time for this? Sorta. I could probably make the time. Sovereign saying, speaking of EV stuff, I was toying with the idea of refitting my mountain bike with an EV setup. Also, was thinking about converting it to a 4-stroke just as a backup or in town stuff. I'll tell you what, EV bikes are pretty sick, man. I mean, not for nothing, but some of them have, 20 and 30, some of them even have 40-mile ranges, and they buzz around at 20, 25 miles an hour pretty easily. So they don't suck. I can tell you that. Eric's, saying, converting those two cars to EV would be, they're going to come out with the E-Ray for the Vet. So that is, but I don't know. I don't know that Ford is really all that lathered up about making a true E Mustang. I'm saying I'm thinking a 4-stroke 100cc. I need a little bit more than that. I'd probably go 100cc would be okay. 100cc is a little bit on the weighty side, but it's about the same type of performance that you get out of like maybe a 60cc 2-stroke. All right, yeah, Foxy, it just needs a solid refresh across the board. In fact, I have, where are they? Oh, right there, right, and there's a bag right there. Brand new set of lower control arms that I bought probably 20 years ago that never put another set of control arms on it. Because I need a new bushings. There's a lot that I need to do to it. All right, saying it'd be cheaper to set up Foxy as a drag racer than buy a Viper. Oh God, yeah, absolutely. But the problem with setting up that car, I used to bracket race that car. I mean, that car has seen so many iterations. I used to bracket race it. It's been autocrossed. It's been open tracked. That car has seen some things for sure. I still can't believe I freaking Tommy Boyd the hood on that thing. And what sucks is that cowl, you can't unbolt it. You literally have to cut that out and put a new replacement in. Sam saying, from what I've heard on the new HD truck side, Ram and GM are working on a new transmission. Cool. I was going to say, I thought the E-Ray is actually a hybrid. I heard that they are working on a full electric. So the E-Ray, yes, it's got the motors up front, but I'm talking about a full-on electric Vet. It was, at least they were talking about it. We'll see. Sam saying transmissions and motors. Yep. Eric's asking what I think of Indian motorcycles. They're awesome. Absolutely awesome. Matter of fact, I would say that you'd be hard pressed to do better. I'm not going to say that Harley is better because I don't believe that they are, and I wouldn't buy anything with the bar and shield on it right now. Not with who they've got running that place and what he is doing to that brand. Forget it. No chance in hell. So I love me some Indian right now. If you like American muscle and motorcycles, that's the way you're going to want to go. So I'm saying, B, can old shock cause some slight random feedback from time to time in the steering wheel? Absolutely it can, for sure. Skid saying, Eric, Indy motorcycles are great, American made, and have a nice selection of bikes. Yes, they do. Ergonomics are really good on Indians, by the way. Hard saying, I'm so attached to my Hellraise and Chally Scat, I don't ever want to trade it or sell it. Keep it. It's a hell of a car. So I'm saying GM has licensed an 8.3 Duramax. GM's working on an 8-speed with the ZF for use behind the 6.7 and rumored 7.8 Cummins. That would be sick to death if they can do that. So I was asking, how do you tell if you have problems with your control arms? Usually you'll feel a little bit of a less than stable feel with them, and it's all about the bushings that are in there more than anything else. So that's it. Older bushings may have, or older control arms may have rubber bushings in them, and that's why. Sport Chief gets a hell of a vote from me. Yes, Skids, for sure. Big time. Love me the Sport Chief. All right, saying Indian Chiefs are sweet. Yep. Eric saying, be Mason, friend. Thank you. Thank you, my friend. Yeah, I like me some Indian, guys. A lot. But guys, listen, with that coming up on about an hour and 15 minutes, boys, I've got to jump off here. DM, my man, thank you so much. Martin, thank you so much. And Stuart, again, guys, thanks for the support. I do truly appreciate it. Love each and every one of all of y'all, though. Would not do this without you. Guys, get out there and do something cool for somebody. Chances are they need it way more than you know. If you aren't registered yet, get out there, register to vote, and we will catch you guys on the next one. Thank you all again so very much, and we will see you later. Oh, here we go. That's a wrap. See you guys.